Good morning and welcome to the Daily Devo for Wednesday, September 21st today. And we have launched into a new book this week, devotions entitled Christian in Complete Armor. William Gurnall lived back in the 1600s, but many writers say his is one of the best works on spiritual warfare. It's very practical. It's not a demon behind every rock kind of thing. It's very practical. Today is entitled Suffering May Come Suddenly. Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, not in a year, not a month or week, but now. Genesis 22:2. Sometimes soldiers do not have as much as an hour's warning before they must take the field. And so you too might be called out to suffer for God or from Him before you expect it. Abraham, for example, had very little time to deal with his heart and persuade it to obey God by offering his child. Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, not in a year, not a month or a week, but now. This command came during the night, and early in the morning he was on his way to the mountain, in verse 3 of that chapter. How could Abraham have handled such a shock had he not already wrestled with his own willingness or unwillingness to endeavor to be obedient to God in all things? Thus God already had his servant's whole heart, and all Abraham was left to do was to obey. Sometimes God makes very sudden changes in our personal lives. For example, how would you receive a death bulletin like the one God gave Moses? He did not have the gradual preparation of a lingering illness, but heard the message while he still enjoyed perfect health. Get thee up and die in the mount, Deuteronomy 32:49 and 50. Are we and our feet really ready for a journey like that? But God can change the scene of public affairs as quickly as he can change personal situations. Maybe authority smiles on the church right now, yet it might frown again soon. Then have the church's rest throughout all Judea, Acts 9:38. It was a blessed time for the saints, but it did not last long. About that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hand to vex certain of the church, Acts 12:1. In this persecution, James, the brother of John, died by the sword, and Peter was thrown into prison. The entire church was driven into a corner to pray in the night, and those who had had rest on every side now were threatened by violent death at every turn. That's real spiritual warfare. I don't know. I've read so many books in recent years on that. Um, there's been some novels written that a lot of people took as, oh, that's what real spiritual warfare is. But it's not. It's a battle of heart and mind. It's a battle of perspective. It's a battle of how we live our lives. Are we committed to obedience no matter what? Or is our goal of spiritual warfare to make our lives comfortable and pleasant and have God protect us from anything bad? Um, it matters how we perceive. In the West, I think I said this on the first day, in the West, we're not, I don't know that we're really tuned into what real spiritual warfare is in our lives. But what Gurnall does in this book is looks at the different articles of clothing, the spiritual armor, the Christian in complete armor. Sometimes we like just to have the sword, or we just want to wear the breastplate of righteousness, or whatever. We don't put it all on. And so his goal in this book, and I know we've started toward the middle of it because I just wanted to stay with the schedule of the calendar here. But it's important that we understand what each part is for. And the enemy's always right around the corner. We may have good times as the church did, and then all of a sudden things turn and we need to be prepared. Be prepared to do battle today and every day. Don't take it for granted. Don't don't shrug it off. Be prepared and have all the armor on. Blessings to you today.